Imagine if every race tomorrow said nobody do business with blacks. What would we do?
Yeah, what would we do?
Like, what would we actually do?
Mm-hmm.
You would realize so much stuff we don't have.
Yeah.
Fucking microwave.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, there's so much stuff we do not have. A car.
Yeah. Yeah, a car.
Enough mechanics to deal with some of the big dirty cars we like to drive.
Yeah.
Everything black on black. If I studied that facts on facts.
Welcome back to another episode of the Black is the New Rich podcast. And this is a highly anticipated episode that's about to go down. I've been waiting for this person for months to come down because he has a very interesting perspective on life. And it's raw, it's uncut, sometimes it hurts, but it's what we need to hear. But I don't want to keep on speaking too much. Can you please introduce yourself?
My guy, thank you so much for having me. My name is Junior Ofori, CEO and owner of Alphaback Financial. What we currently do is we're in business development, and we have two avenues that we focus on. In our terms of business development, we develop mobile apps for smaller businesses, allow them to scale with using these tools, and a loyalty management software where they can offer their customers points for anything that they find valuable. So we just have these tools to help small businesses operate like big businesses.
Dope. So for the people that don't know, I've known you for a long time.
Go way back.
Yeah, way back. And I've seen different, you be a part of different business ventures. I've seen you disappear for a little while.
Yeah.
Just take us back and the lead up to where you're at now.
So, obviously, just like any other young man, you start off very athletic.
Yeah.
You know how it was with ball. We grew up in Mississauga. You're part of the Wolf Pack. I'm part of Woodlands. You know, so basketball was everything for us. But at a young age, I started working early. So I think by the time I was in grade 6, grade 7, I was pretty much the same height I am now. Like I grew very quick. So I was like 5'9" right away. And I went to a private school for a bit. And at that time, my pops was working at an exporting company. And I would go there every Friday because in that school that I went to, every Friday we had a half day.
Yeah.
So what I did was my dad would come pick me up after school and then we'll go over there. So what would end up happening was I would just sit there for hours. And the guy who owned the spot at that time was like, hey, like, do you want to work? Like, you're huge, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I want to work. How much are you going to pay me? And he said he was going to pay me $10 an hour.
Oh, that time.
Yeah.
That's big
So
money.
this is like 2004, maybe 2003.
Yeah.
So like at that time I was like, $10 an hour. Like I know. So I had to go find like my cousins who were working at McDonald's, like, what are you guys getting paid? They were getting like $6.25 or something. And I'm like, $10 an hour.
That's blessed.
So I started working over there and I started making a little bit of money. And at that time, my mom would put some away for school. She'll give me a little bit. And that's when I started my entrepreneurship journey. So what I used to do is in my neighborhood, there would be guys who lived over there and I used to take the bus to go home. And every time I'll take the bus, I'll stop by the flea market and like pick up some hats, shoes, and
always
some
been
stuff.
fly.
Yeah, always been fly. So I would go pick up that stuff and I would literally go into my neighborhood and sell it to the guys who were in the corner.
Yeah,
so they would always be like, yo, like I'll buy the hats for like $15 and I'll sell it to them for like $25.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what I was doing at that time, but that's kind of like where it started.
Yeah.
By the time I was like maybe like 16, I had like a full business. Yeah, me and my boy Jordan had a whole company called Kicks Glory, where we were big into like sneakers. At that time, like we were going to like what would you see play and places like that, and we'll get the shoes in bulk. Like this is before Nike had exclusive contracts and stuff.
Yes.
So we were able to get shoes very frequently, and then we would buy them for a premium, sell them for profit, and that was kind of how I got into business. By the time I was 18. Then I got introduced to, like right when I was going into school, Sheridan Times, I got introduced to a company called ACN.
Yes, that was big in the city at the time.
Yeah.
Major.
Yeah, I might have a little reason why it was big still. So at that time, there was two gentlemen that came to come see me. One's name was Michael Yat. He's currently in a big real estate broker now, and Francois Rudder, who's also another big guy in the digital space. They came to my house and they knew my sister, my older sister. Came to my house, they showed me this plan. And I saw it and I was like, bro, so you're telling me people do this and they make $1 million?
Yeah, yeah.
That's real?
Yeah.
I couldn't sleep for days. I
Mhm.
showed my mom this. My mom was like, yeah, like when I came into the country, I did something like this. It was
Yeah.
like Avon. And
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
I was like, oh, word, so it works. So
Yeah,
this is real.
Yeah.
And then she was like, yeah, so if you want to go for it, go for it.
Mhm.
So there was some support there. So I did it. My first year, I was terrible. My second year is when I started to learn. So I started to read. I started to invest myself.
Yeah.
I started to really commit to the process. Then I started making a little bit of money.
Mhm.
By the time the end of my second year came out, then I hit one of the pivotal positions in that company
Yeah.
and
So
started
you're like
making.
19, 20.
Yeah, I was like 19, 20.
Jeez.
By the time I was 20, I made my first 6 figures in that company.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So like I remember the first year when I was 19, part-time, I probably made like 30 something K.
Yeah.
And then the second year, maybe roughly around like 90 something.
Yeah.
And then after that, it started to get really good.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So I know that I remember that time of life and like you were killing it, but then I didn't see you for a while.
Oh yeah.
What happened?
I got into some poly.
Oh, because I was like, yo, this guy, where is this guy?
So it's funny because the politics of the industry is just what it is. It's a volunteer army, right?
Yeah.
So when you're bringing on a big team, at that time I had 4,500 people on my team.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it was a
And
big
that's where you
squad.
deal with the like legs. People are under
Yes.
you. As someone leaves, they're taking a piece of your team.
Right. So
Oh.
what ended up happening was I know at that time the company was going through some of the things that they were going through with
Yeah.
the FTC and things of that nature. So it was a shift that happened within the company. Things that we used to do and we would get paid X amount for doing so. The activity became a little bit more difficult to do.
Okay.
So obviously for us, we would accept the challenge and it would be okay. But we saw a big wave of our organization not like those changes and shift away.
Okay.
And in that time when they shift away, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But we were still doing extremely well.
Yeah.
But then the last draw was another company had emerged that had a more exciting product that had a lot of, because my team was predominantly young.
Yeah.
So I had a young group.
Yeah.
And this organization had a lot of young people and they were putting money behind these young people, and the owners and some of the top executives in that company were really involved.
Mhm.
So it built a level of excitement that we didn't have.
Yeah.
Because we weren't talking to the top executives.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
might have only been me talking to some of the top executives
Yeah,
because
yeah.
of the rank that I was at.
Yeah.
But over there, some people in my organization saw an opportunity and they kind of just jumped on it.
Okay.
So when they left, they took almost like 50% of my organization.
Ooh.
So I went from probably that year making over 6 figures to pretty much making like nothing.
Jeez.
Yeah, so I lost it all.
Yeah. So what was that? Well, obviously the feeling wasn't too good, but
Yeah.
I'm more interested in the bounce back, your mindset, how to bounce back.
You see, that was actually the issue because I didn't bounce back right away.
Mhm.
It actually took me 2 years to really bounce back.
Really?
The first year, and that was the thing that I always, if there's anything that I felt bad about in that situation,
Yeah.
was my ability to be like, okay, it's okay, just bounce back and focus on you.
Yeah.
And I felt sorry for myself for a while.
Too long.
Way too long. I felt sorry for myself to the point that I didn't even believe that I had the skills that I had built all of that.
Oh,
I thought I
jeez.
really got lucky. That's how
So
bad
that
I was
self-doubt
on.
was crazy.
It
then.
was crazy.
Jeez.
And I was going through that rut for almost 2 years.
Yeah.
To the point where I remember there was one experience, there was a job that I went to go pick up.
Mhm.
And at that time, there was nothing wrong with getting a job because I knew what time it was. I had to sustain. I had
Mhm.
things that I had to pay for. I was living on my own.
Yeah.
That whole situation. So there was a guy that I met in the place that I got the job.
Yeah.
And he's like, yo, you're Junior Ofori, right? And I'm like, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, yo, you're that Asian guy, with
Yeah.
2 whips. Like,
yeah.
what happened?
Oh, jeez.
Right, ego. And I'm just like, bro, I had to look at him and I'm just like, bro, sometimes you just gotta set yourself back for a major comeback. And it is what it is.
Yeah.
And just took it with grace and just kept on working.
Mhm.
Me and homeboy, we talked like
Mhm.
throughout me working there, we talked all the time. And he was just always so shocked as like how things played out.
Yeah.
But it was okay for me because I knew that I would be okay.
Mhm.
I knew eventually.
Dope. So for the people that don't know, I'm super interested in your event space and how you're dealing with it, right? And every time that we've spoken, like when you talk about real estate, like commercial versus residential, you always have an interesting outlook on it.
Not everybody gonna agree with me, but hey.
And your event space, for people that actually explain your event space for people that don't know.
So we currently as a company have 11,000 square feet that we currently rent out to business owners. It's just space that they can use for their business. Or at first when we started it, we'll talk about that whole transition as to how we got to what it is now.
Cool.
So originally the plan was me and my team came together and said, we need a space for us. We've been in business for a while. We have the financials to be able to get the space. Like, let's go out and get a space. What's funny enough was we were actually looking for a space a lot smaller. Our budget was 5,000 square feet. We were not looking for anything more than that.
You doubled that.
I'll explain how we ended up getting there. Like, we were looking for all of these 5,000 square feet spots, and all these real estate guys would always give us the side eye. Always like, what are you gonna do here? Like this, that. And we were just getting this whole runaround. So we were just kind of like, you know what? Let me just look and see what's available. Then we went up to a whole building that was 11,000 square feet. And at that time we're like, bro, this is a lot. But what's funny enough is I was driving around, I pulled up to the place because I seen where it was. I got the address. Went over there and I seen the spot. What's funny was I was just looking around. I don't know, someone just told me to just go over there. And I see the guy who owns the spot. I didn't know he owned it at the time. And somebody's just walking around and he's like, hey, how may I help you? And I'm like, well, I seen this on like a listing, and I seen that it was on a listing, off a listing. It seemed like there's a lot going on with this building. I would love to see this. If you're like the neighbor, do you know who owns it? And he's like, I own it. And I was like, oh, perfect. So he kind of lays out, we go inside. He's like, you want to see the space? We go inside, we start looking, and he lays out his life for me. So like he was in trucking. He sold his company recently. He plans on retiring in 5 years. So I'm hearing this and I'm hearing lease to own.
You lease to own.
Lease to own. Because I know this is a motivated seller. This is somebody that already has a plan on exit. So we start talking, and the moment it got down to what he was looking for, we're like, we can do this. But I say that just to say that it's funny how sometimes you could play on this level. And people will look at you a certain way, but the moment you go up to another frequency, they don't look at you that way.
What would elaborate? Would you break that down?
I thought it was very funny because you would have thought a bigger business or somebody of that caliber would be more standoffish about me coming to take their space. But the thing about those guys is they have big expenses. So they know that if you're coming over there, you clearly have something why you're confident enough to come over here and ask.
True. So it's business.
So it was business. So they asked for our credit, they asked for our financials, and they were like, okay, you guys can handle this. So that's how we ended up going in there. But we originally, the plan was to go in there as a team, event space, podcast studio.
Yes, I remember.
We had a kitchen kind of situation, and then we had a bunch of rooms that were going to be occupied by other people and our team. The plan did not play out the way it was supposed to play out. Because a lot of people on our team at the time thought that they can handle it, and they couldn't.
It was a lot more.
It was a lot. It was. I don't even think it was a lot more than it was expected. I think people underestimated their ability to be consistent in something. And this is the thing about business. Sometimes you just got to go into business with people that are of your caliber, that can handle what you can handle. So if me and my business partner, my brother, could handle something, we thought our whole team could handle it.
And it's not always like that.
It's not always like that. So we ended up taking majority of the cost of the building. And what ended up happening was we had to be strategic. We had to pivot. And in that pivot meant that, hey, if we can rent the space out to other business owners, then we can now not only offset what we're paying consistently, we could potentially eventually make a profit.
So now you have a permanent renter for the main space.
Yes, we pretty much have, in terms of occupancy, 70% of the building is occupied.
Jeez, because when I went in there last time, I was like, wow.
It's changed. It's changed a lot. I know, it changed quick. It's funny. People call us like, oh, I want to do an event in your space. It's like, you don't know us, bro. If you don't talk to us for 3 months, just believe everything's different.
Exactly.
We move quick. Don't have time to waste.
It was a couple months. What it's looking like now, I was like, geez.
It was quick. Even from the moment like we got the place
Yeah.
last year, and 3 months later for it to look like what it looked like in the back, to do the epoxy and paint the walls and do all of that. Like, it's different. Quick.
Jeez.
You didn't waste no time.
So what's your outtake on the residential versus the commercial? Because you went commercial, and a lot of people are trying to build generational wealth through residential right now.
I think you play in whatever mindset you're open to.
Elaborate.
When I say that, I mean that if I'm an entrepreneur and I know that I can take 100,000 and do something else with it, I won't put it in a residential property. That's just me, because for me, money has to move. Yeah. And I don't trust them moving my money. Okay. I just don't feel like the system is created enough for me to want to put it there. For me, for me, I look at it like this. If I'm going to go get something just for the opportunity to borrow, and I'd rather put that into buying a business.
And that's like mortgages you're talking about.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like even buying a residential place. You're going to buy a residential place. You're going to get it. Once you get it, it's going to appreciate ish. We also have inflation. So that's another argument that we could talk. Is it inflating, or is our money just getting weaker? That's another conversation we could look at as well. But then when you get that, you also have to understand that the renters market is not parallel to what you're paying as a mortgage and all the other expenses that you have.
So a lot of people are getting screwed right now.
100%. And to me, I don't understand the concept that if it isn't bringing in anything, then it's not necessarily an asset.
Yeah, it's an
like,
asset. Yeah, exactly.
It's an asset in the sense of you can borrow against it, which is great. But there's also other things you could borrow against. And there's also other things that you could create that ultimately can have more value. So if I am an entrepreneur and I know I could buy a piece of software that I have the capability to monetize on and scale it to a certain level where it could bring me a certain level of cash flow, and I could also go to the bank and get a line of credit and have the ability to borrow, to me, that makes sense. Yeah. But not everybody is like that. Yeah. So for me, commercial real estate makes sense because I could see something that we call cash flow. And that is something that I'm more interested in. Like, yes, you can have the equity portion of it, but that's if you need it. I like the cash flow thing.
And you mentioned buying businesses. What did you mean by that? Can you break that down?
So the thing that a lot of people don't know is I am not an advocate of people starting businesses.
That's like, okay, yeah.
I think that is a absolutely stupid concept unless you are solving a problem. If you are starting a business and you are not solving a problem, pointless. Why? Absolutely pointless. Why? Because you can buy cash flow. There's people right now who have done what you've done, who are in the industries that you're in, and they are ready to leave. I read a book called Buy Then Build. Yeah. And in this book, it says that the baby boomers currently control 12 million businesses in North America. They plan on retiring from 2013 to 2027. So that means a lot of businesses are going to be in escrow. A lot of businesses are not going to be passed on to their kids. Yeah. They have not groomed. A lot of business owners have not groomed their kids to take on the business. True. They told their kids to go to school and do something else. Yeah. So the kids are fucking firefighters. Yeah. No offense, excuse my language. But they're firefighters and they don't care about the business at all. Yeah. Meanwhile, there's another generation of people that are coming up and saying, yo, if I knew that I can buy somebody's business and get their current cash flow and get all of the financials and all of the notices of assessments that they paid for years, and now I own all of this intellectual property plus the cash flow of that business, why not? That's a smarter idea. So if you go and you buy the cash flow and then you buy the property, that makes sense. Okay. If you have a job, and let's just say you and a family member or somebody that thinks like-minded, a friend, could come together and put your credit together.
And buy this business.
And buy the business that has a cash flow.
And it already has history.
100%. It's like right now, you're in podcasting. Yeah. Imagine if there's a podcast that's going out the door, but they have an email list of 100,000 people.
Yo, that's valuable.
Imagine you might just be buying the business just because of the contacts and the intellectual property alone. Yeah. Not even talking about the fact that they probably have a bunch of subscribers on YouTube. That's valuable to you.
100%.
That's the game.
100%.
We just need to understand to play the game. So people are starting businesses. Like I see guys who are like, I want to start a detailing business. Yeah. When there's a guy who's 65 years old that has a detailing
With a
business for
customer
20
list.
years
Yeah.
with a customer list.
Yeah.
All you do is you take that business, you bring your customers to it, you enhance the level of that business, you scale back on the expenses that they would have been currently spending on that business. And now you can put it into your own pocket as a profit. Let's just say you can now, instead of your 9 to 5, you could go in and work that business. So if they were paying a manager $80,000 a year, you could come in and say, I'm gonna pay myself 50.
Yeah.
And now you can save the other 30, put it back into the business.
Yes.
Scale the business up. Business becomes more profitable.
Yeah.
Now you can go to the
And you're not
bank.
starting from zero.
Of course. Now you could go to the bank and you could get an equity line against whatever. You could get a business equity line of credit and and then here you go. Now you got a business, you got cash flow, you got a salary, and you have the ability to borrow.
What's that book? One more time.
Buy then build.
Buy then build. Okay, that's definitely gonna be my next read.
Oh, that book was fire.
Yeah, I need that.
And then it even talks about the financing aspect of it as well. Like there's a lot of ways you can finance a build.
So it's not like you have to have this cash up front.
No, it's about understanding negotiations.
Okay.
Like a motivated seller, like when we're talking about the building.
Yes.
This is somebody who's looking to retire. So they got to do
willing
something.
to work with you.
Thank you. They got to do something anyway.
Yeah.
So they have the asset. They want to get paid out for it. They get the money for the retirement. They're good to go.
Yeah.
The man, he gets his $3 million. You buy the building. He's gone.
Yeah.
He's okay.
Yeah.
That's what they want. People who are retiring right now are really, that's what they're thinking. So you think about business owners that are 60 years old.
Yeah.
Trust me, they're all looking to exit.
Okay.
And these are multiple businesses.
12 million.
We're talking health agencies. We're talking staffing agencies. We're talking, there's so many.
All the things that we want to start.
100%.
Jeez. Because actually, don't quote me if I'm wrong on the stores, but Chapters, when they were emerging, they bought Barnes and Noble's email list. So they didn't have to start from the ground up
100%.
because of the same concept.
It's a game. You got to be smart with it.
Okay.
So if you go start a business and you know 90% of businesses fail, why wouldn't you buy a business that's already successful?
Facts.
Like that's like playing basketball and they saying, yo, you can go to this camp that scouts automatically look at.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Go NCAA, go JUCO, do this, do this. What? Just go to the camp.
Yeah, just go to camp. Facts.
Am I lying?
Yeah, facts.
That's what I'm saying.
Facts. Okay, so off camera, we have a lot of talk about running a business versus hustling, and our people tend to be stuck on hustling. Even myself, a lot of times, for sure. What do you got to say about that? And what does that mean?
So, a business is how understanding the whole system of how an operation works.
Okay.
A hustle is really just thinking about you.
Okay.
So when people are hustling, there's so much like you could hear when somebody's hustling because the number one thing I know when somebody's hustling is they're never willing to invest into their own business. 2, they don't understand the difference between gross income and profit. So they think because their business made money, they made money.
It's not like that.
It's an employee mindset coming into a business equals hustle. Employee mindset coming into something where you can now monetize and we're working yourself. When you add those two, that equals hustle. So that's the difference between when you have a business, you have to think about all of the key things. You have to think about marketing. You have to think about what's going into it, how much you're spending into your operations, how you're running your operations. Not every dollar that's made in that business belongs to you. It has to be allocated into certain things. And then now we're in a stage of business where people need to understand their analytics and their data.
Okay.
Not only did you sell that customer, how did you sell that customer? How often can you sell that customer? Because if I'm going to be real, like our businesses are very, very behind.
Yes.
And the reason why I say they're very, very behind is we don't even have the basic step of data. Other businesses have gotten the data. They've collected the data for years.
Yeah.
They've now monetized off the data. And now the next thing that they're investing hundreds of billions of dollars into is AI.
Yeah.
What is that?
AI is going crazy.
It's understanding how your customer spends money.
Yeah.
Sooner or later, they're going to be able to sell the concept of the customer behavior.
I know, that's crazy.
People haven't even figured out, like some people, they're hustling so hard that they still haven't even figured out how to keep a customer.
Yeah.
Or how to get a customer and keep it. Nevertheless, to understand the behavior of that customer. Sooner, there's going to be mergers and acquisition managers that are going to buy businesses because they know their analytics so well. A Fashion Nova will know when you're going to spend money, how much you're going to spend, how often you spend on the website. They'll know every analytic, so that customer becomes way more value into the lifeline of how successful that business is going to be. That's what they're investing in. Meanwhile, we still haven't even gotten data.
Yeah, we don't got any data.
None.
Yeah.
People are running businesses on hope and a prayer that somebody's going to come the next day.
Yeah.
They don't know who their customer is, how to get a hold of their customer. Bro, if you're only promoting on Instagram, you have no clue how to get a hold of your customer.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not on Instagram, I don't see your stuff.
Yeah, exactly. We're fighting against an algorithm. That's why I like some of the videos that I made. I'm like, yo, if you don't have an email list, what are we doing?
Bro, it's not your platform.
Yeah, exactly.
It's their platform.
Exactly.
And they're there to make money.
And you're the product.
And you're the product.
Yeah.
So you can't now think you're going to sell a product when you're the product in a network. Like,
it doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
So now people need to understand that they need to get serious on the data that they're collecting. Because if they're not collecting no data, they don't have no business.
Okay, let me ask you a question. For the person that, you know, they haven't been collecting data, but they do have a quote unquote business, where do they even start?
Where do they start with the data?
Yeah.
They need to really start by sitting down and assessing what they value first.
Okay.
Because
in terms of,
are you doing this to solve a problem? Do you even care about your customers, bro? Because a lot of people, like, I know when I run a business, bro, all I care about is the customer. Bro, I've had businesses that I've never promoted ever. Word of mouth got it to 6 figures. Word of mouth. How many people you know could run a business word of mouth?
Yeah.
A lot of people can't do that. Even my network marketing business. This was before social media. I couldn't flex and do all of that.
That was before social media.
Way before social media. Instagram came when I had my best year and I wasn't even on it.
And you were going through, I remember that time.
We were going through beer people because word of mouth. We knew how to run a good business. We knew how to get people excited to a certain degree.
Yeah.
So back to that question again.
I was asking if someone were to start to get their analytics, where would they start?
So they would start by first off getting the tools.
Yeah.
I think you would need tools in place to understand.
What type of tools are we talking about?
I mean, first off, your financials. Okay. So the money that is coming in, if you have QuickBooks, you got to make sure. Okay. And shout out to Ian. That's definitely like, he's an accountant that teaches people about bookkeeping. Okay. And that's somebody that, you know what I mean, they could tap into. He could show them a few things on how to. And it's funny because he actually used to work for a division of QuickBooks back in the day. Yeah, Mary told me. Yeah. So he understands the software and how it works. So QuickBooks is definitely it. Having an email list is very essential. If you have MailChimp, that's I use
Klaviyo.
You use Klaviyo? Yeah. Klaviyo, MailChimp, any one of these softwares. Okay.
So your financials, your receipts, what's coming in, your email list, your email provider, which is MailChimp, the Klaviyo.
Yeah. I think a website.
Yes.
Very, very important. Website. So whether you're doing that, Wix, Shopify, Squarespace.
Shopify's killing it right now.
Shopify's killing it right now. You know what I mean? And they have a lot of plugin and apps and things that you can use. Yeah. I do feel like there's another level of business that's about to scale. And I feel like this is where I come in to solve that problem, which is mobile apps. Yeah. I feel like having a website is great, but if you want to be effective and you have a business that wants to be quick, you have to think the way the big boys think.
Exactly.
Uber, you would never go on. Imagine Uber Eats.
Yeah.
Would you ever go home and then order your Uber Eats?
No, you're going on your app.
You do it on the go. So if you want speed, you need a mobile app. If you want speed and effective and quick and easy to maintain, even as somebody who is the business, to be able to see everything streamlining through one avenue, that's the next step.
And every small business you think can utilize an app.
100%. I think in this whole Web3 space, every small business needs to come off of these platforms and build their own platform.
Okay. And come off the Instagrams, maybe if you're in the media, YouTube.
Yep. I think you should have it, but I think you should have something that's yours, that you own, that you can control, that you can reach your customers at any time. If you have your own app, push notification is way more effective than any other. It's almost as close as SMS, bro. Exactly. It's just as effective because if somebody, we all see our push notifications. The moment we look at our phone, we see that this company sent us a push
100%.
notification. So if you are that brand and you're trying to promote something, that's the greatest way to get to your customer.
And you're not fighting against an algorithm, which we all just fight way too hard.
Exactly.
For or against.
This is yours. Now, every time you encounter somebody who isn't a customer yet, based on getting them on your ecosystem, you could guarantee that they could be a customer eventually.
Yes.
If I was going to buy a business, and I tell people, build your business in order to sell it.
Okay.
Because that's how you know you're building it effectively.
Oh, okay.
Because if I'm going to buy a business, I want to know how many downloads you have per month. Because now I could also tell how many potential customers you could have.
Oh, okay, cool.
Or how many potential customers you could reach out to. This is why your email list and your intellectual property and some of the data that you have is so important. The next thing that I would suggest people get is a loyalty program.
Okay.
Care about your friggin' customers, bro.
What does that look like? What does that look like?
It's any form of incentivization for behavior.
Okay.
If you're going to incentivize them to spend money with you, it shows that you care.
Yeah.
Nobody cares what you know or what you sell until they know how much you care.
So, for example, let's just break this down. Someone buys a Black is the New Rich sweater and they get maybe 300 points, and that goes on their a card of a Black is the New Rich card. And it takes maybe 1,200 points to get a free sweater. That's it.
So now they're engaged.
Yeah.
Not only did you give them something, it's like prime example. What are the brands that we love the most? Starbucks. Everybody loves Starbucks. Why? Because Starbucks is giving you something every time you go there.
Yeah.
Every time you go there and you spend money, you feel like your money.
Gas points is a big one.
100%. If somebody has American Express, every time you travel, you see them, bro.
Air miles.
Listen,
Air miles.
Yo, even something as simple as American Express Lounge.
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly.
Flight, everybody's flight is getting delayed in 2023, bro. 2022, 2021.
Yeah.
Now you're getting to a point where I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm in the American Express Lounge.
Yeah.
I'm meeting great people.
Yeah. I've been in there once and I couldn't believe that this was in the airport.
Bro.
I couldn't believe it.
Giving you free drinks and all of this stuff. You're like,
top
bro,
of the line drinks.
I like this. I like this. Like, that's the level of understanding. And the bigger enterprises understand these things. They understand loyalty. So having all of those key tools are essential. You can't, it's not a wing and a prayer. It has to, you understand your KPIs and understand how you are selling and how the customers is staying and coming back consistently.
And it's just not about running your customers dry.
No. That means if you run them dry, you're going to be out of business. And that's the difference between hustling
and running a business.
Because running a business, you're thinking about how I can give back to the customer and how I can invest back into the business to make the operation smoother, to make it simple, to make this thing move without me. Like you're thinking differently when you're running a business versus if a hustle. A hustle is like, oh, how much did I make today? That's it.
Facts.
How much am I making?
So where else do you see that we're lacking as a community? Other than like our operations and our systems and understanding what a business is, where else do you see we're lacking?
Lack of intention.
Oh, elaborate.
We're not intentional people.
Elaborate.
Like we talk a great game about how we want certain things, equality and this and everything, which we deserve. But we need to be intentional about us for other people to be intentional about us. If you won't support a small business or if you won't go out of your way to support somebody that looks like you, where are we going to? What are we talking about? We're always going to rely on another group to do something for us. And we say it so nonchalantly, like, oh, we should do. Nah, you have to understand, like the way my mind works is imagine if every race tomorrow said, nobody do business with blacks. What would we do?
Yeah, what would we do?
Like, what would we actually do? You would realize so much stuff we don't have.
Yeah.
Fucking microwave.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much stuff we do not have. A car.
Yeah, a car.
Enough mechanics to deal with some of the big dirty cars we like to drive.
Yeah.
Like,
screwed.
We would be screwed.
Yeah.
And people don't look at it like that. So we say things, but we're not intentional about it. We're not intentional about our growth. We're not intentional about our freedom. We're not intentional about what the things that we want to create. We're not intentional about the next generation. Because if we were intentional about the next generation, we would be spending less. And be so focused on what we were going to give to the next generation. Let me tell you something about privilege. Privilege does not happen to the people that want it. Privilege happens to the people that thought about them prior. So if you want privilege, your kids are going to have it, not you.
Exactly.
Not you.
Exactly.
I've accepted it.
Yeah.
I've accepted that, bro. Heinz Ketchup, the person who created it,
Yeah.
yes, he saw some great things, but the real beneficiary of the great things that he's done is going to be his great grandkids that inherit all of this.
Ford never reaped any fruits of his labor until
100%.
He died, and his family.
And his family did. And that's the mindset we need to have if we want to be intentional.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think sometimes we talk the great game, but I'm in competition.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I'm nobody's victim. Listen,
Mm-hmm.
I'm competing with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if they black, Puerto Rican, this, white.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, I'm that good.
Business is business.
Business is business.
Mm-hmm.
I'm that good. I will figure out a friggin' way.
Mm-hmm.
If Madam CJ Walker figured it out in 1920
yeah.
as a black woman to live beside Rothschild, bro,
Yeah.
you can't tell me nothing.
Yeah.
At 2023.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what are we talking about, Sway?
Jeez.
So in my mind, that level of intention, because me personally, my goal, if anybody wants to ask me what my goal in life is before I fucking drop dead, I don't want to see our people in last place.
Yeah.
I'm tired of that shit.
And we've been for a while.
Because, bro, I've played basketball my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you're the best fucking player on the team.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody remembers the motherfucker who never won championships, bro.
Exactly.
Nobody does.
Mm-hmm.
Can we put Iverson in the same conversation as Curry?
No, we can't now.
Even skill-wise, you probably could.
No, we can't now.
But because of the championships, you can.
Yeah, you can.
Because nobody wins when the family feuds,
Yeah,
bro.
exactly.
If the team loses, we all lose.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if I'm the nigga in the Bentley.
Yeah.
We're still losing.
Yeah.
So that's where we need to be intentional about everything in our life about growth.
Mm-hmm.
We have to be.
And that's why I even killed the buzzword from the Black is New Rich platform, support black businesses. I killed that phrase.
Oh, wow.
I hate it.
Oh, word.
It's invest in black owned or invest in business if it's good.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like don't invest if their business is trash.
Yeah.
I agree. That goes for all races and all anything. So that's the support thing. To me now, it sounds like a fucking charity case.
It's charity.
I've been saying that for a while. Like I don't want to be a charity case.
Nah.
I want to say, okay, we're here. We're a little bit behind now, but we're playing this game.
I want to run a good business.
I want to run a good business.
100%.
And I want to run a good business, and that's point blank. Period.
And I agree. Just to even add to that point, I think we should compete on that level to run a good business.
100%.
Because my number one rule in business, because I'm all for business ownership.
Yeah.
And I'm all for black business ownership.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I all the way agree with black consumerism.
Break that down, because I know we talked about that.
In the sense of, if you have a black business that you're only supposed to cater to black customers, that is okay. I think that is a great concept. But it's
minimizing you in a certain way.
Thank you. I also feel like other races don't do these things.
Yeah.
I want us to go where the money's at.
Exactly.
If we know that we're last place and
follow
follow the money.
Yeah.
If we're last place, like, this is logical. Let's just be logical for a minute. If we're last place and you're running a business and you're trying to get the support from the people who have the least amount of money, how successful do you think you're going to be?
Yeah, facts.
Like, I'm just trying to rationalize that. But if I'm a black kid and I create Instagram, I'm getting everybody.
Everybody, exactly.
I'm getting all of the people who have the money. And money follows value. It doesn't follow anything else.
Yeah.
Bro, when people want something from you, they're going to want something from you no matter what race you are.
100%.
Because they're just going to realize that the value is within this and I need to be attached to that.
100%.
So if we were building things like Calendly, which there is a black owner, I think, in one of the co-founders of Calendly. It's a big enough business that you bring value to everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't matter what you are.
It's solving a problem, like you said.
If you start a business, it has to solve a problem. If not, don't worry about the business. Everybody else is doing it. It's okay.
Yeah. Jeez. So a minute ago, you talked about if everybody stopped doing business with blacks, then what would we do? Driving, mechanics, microwaves, gone. And I know that we've talked a lot about diversifying what we think is business, because we occupy the clothing, we occupy the aesthetics, the nails, the lashes, the this, the that.
Yeah.
How can we diversify our minds to think about other types of businesses, and what other types of businesses are there to think about?
I think It's funny enough you asked that. That's a great question. I look at it like this. The way I assess business is when you get into business, you start to become curious.
Mm-hmm.
I think our people need to be curious.
Mm-hmm.
Not just curious as to the money.
Mm-hmm.
We need to be curious as to how things work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how does oil come into this country? How do people make money on gas stations?
Mm-hmm.
How does
hydro work?
Mm-hmm. How is it transferred?
Mm-hmm.
If they're saying that they're going to cut out all sales for every manufacturer for gas powered cars, where are all those charging stations going to come from? And what's the opportunity with that?
Mm-hmm.
Can I make a few kilowatts per hour and make a profit on that? Can I get involved in those spaces?
Mm-hmm.
There's things that are changing that we can now get involved in.
Even like the charging stations that we're going to need a lot.
We're going to need a lot more.
Yeah,
like when we say a lot more,
a lot more. Yeah.
And who's going to do those? People that are thinking about business.
And curious.
2026 is around the corner. To tell people that you're going to stop manufacturing all gas-powered cars, that would mean there would be a crazy height of EVs that come into the market. Yeah. That means all of a sudden that shift of, let's just say right now there's only maybe 8% of people that drive EVs. That means that 8% is going to jump to about almost like 40 to 50% of people in the nation in a short time span. That means there's a lot of electricity going to be produced. That means, like Warren Buffett said, that energy will be the largest transfer of wealth mankind will say. He said that almost, I'm going to say 12 years ago.
Jeez.
That's crazy. Jeez. We're not even going to see it yet.
Yeah. Jeez.
He was saying that for 20 years later.
Yeah.
And those are things that we need to pay attention to. When you start to pay attention to how business works, you start to understand that there's problems in little gaps of things that we do, which provide massive opportunity. So just thinking about logistics, like a lot of people will open up a store when stores are dying.
Yeah, no.
When logistics is going through the roof.
Yeah, exactly.
3PL is going through the roof.
Yeah.
So there's so many things and there's so many ways to make money, not even just make money, to build a business and create value, that we're just not paying attention because we're not playing the game of business and understanding it the way we should. Look at everything.
And we're not paying attention to the things we use.
Yep.
Being intentional about the things we use. We're just consumers.
Yep.
And we're the product. So I feel like if we pay attention to these things, then we'll have these type of questions, which then we can find answers.
Exactly.
You know?
If you could ask the right questions, you could get the right answers.
100%. Because like, even think about it, like this pandemic, my mom was always in an office space downtown, right? And when the pandemic was going on, she was lucky enough she didn't lose her job or anything like that. They just worked from home. And it was groundbreaking information for her legal firm, because they did studies and they had analytics that, the productivity was way up with everybody working from home.
Wow.
Way up, right? So now they have, obviously their firm probably leased these buildings. So they're like, what the hell do we do now that things aren't opening? So they only go back once a week now. But moving forward, I was like, Mom, it's a little bit scary, because now they don't need these offices, and you guys can work from home. So that's good for you right now. But what stops them from now getting the worker from India?
Yeah. It's one step closer.
One step closer, because now they don't need you in the office.
And now the worker from India is just going to manage the AI software that talks to the customer anyway.
Exactly. And that just goes back to like you saying that we got to be more curious.
Yeah.
And that's how I was like, you know what, that there's a problem there, or there's something I see that could be a little bit of a problem, but we got to maneuver it some way, somehow.
It's talking deep. We brought it to India. And there's other emerging markets that
there's
are
other
emerging.
emerging markets. It could be India, it could be wherever, but it doesn't have to be here, for way cheaper.
Yep. Way cheaper. Bro, it's like $6,000 a year.
Exactly.
It's like $9,000 a year.
Exactly. Till whatever my mom gets paid.
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay. Speaking about all the small, how we can be better with our small business, you have something called Alpha Apps. And
yes, sir.
You showed it to me a couple days of what you're working on. I was like, it's over.
You couldn't sleep, eh?
I couldn't sleep. It's over. I'm like, it's innovative, yes, cool. But the way that you can have access to your client, your customer, your supporter was the one thing that's I'm losing sleep over. I'm like, I need this. I need to get on this, and I need to know more, and I can't wait till you talk about it, and it's finally out here.
Yeah. So I'll give you like kind of like a playback on where all of that stuff came into play. Cool. So I've always been in business for the most part B2B. Okay. B2B sales has always been my thing. Even in ACN, I was always dealing with business owners, and that was kind of my thing. Then I got into business lending, and going into business lending, you start to understand a little bit more about people's businesses and how they operate people's businesses. In 2018, I started realizing that a lot of people that were coming to us for money didn't have a money problem. They just had an operations problem. They just didn't know how to operate their business. So for us, what me and my partner were doing in 2018, 2019, we were looking for software to purchase because we seen what QuickBooks and some of these other companies were doing. And we're saying, okay, if we know that a lot of the solutions are going to come from software, then we need to get involved in software. Yes. And through that, we invested in a few software channels that I'm going to speak of now. Alpha Apps came about because we connected with a developer, and the developer showed us that this was something. We actually created a software first that I'm going to talk about later. And when we realized that this was something that could support the businesses right away and make the thing that we created just way more effective. Yes. So what Alpha Apps is we've created a platform that people can, and this is the thing about software before I even get into that. The thing about software, that the biggest problem that we're essentially solving in this instance is software takes time. Yes. And it is friggin' expensive. Yeah. So for you to develop an app, you could be looking at upwards of $50,000 to $100,000, and you could be looking at almost a year and a half. And then the QA period is going to take some time. And then there's going to be bugs, and then you're going to have to reinvest certain things and change how the layouts are. And there's just so many headaches that come with that. So what we did is we created a software, which is a build it, do it yourself platform where people can build their own apps for a fraction of the time and a fraction of the cost. So if somebody
it's like a drag and drop kind of thing.
It's literally like a Shopify for mobile apps.
Jeez. Simplified.
Yep.
Jeez.
Okay. If somebody wanted to build their app right now, it could cost them as low as $350 a month to have a mobile app, and as high as $750 for an intricate app.
And that's nothing.
Like a high advanced app that could cost them hundreds of thousands of dollars.
And that's downloadable on will be downloadable on all app stores.
Once they publish it, it's downloadable on iOS and Google Play.
Just like that.
Jeez. Publishing it could take as quick as, depending on how it is, a week or a day. It's really up to the user at the end of the day. Okay. Or the person creating it.
So I'm a small business. Let's say let me just shoot a scenario at you. Let's say I'm a cleaning business. Yeah. Why would I need an app?
So let's just say for a cleaning business, if you had a way to market, because a lot of people, a cleaning business is very funny. It's either they're marketing, what's the channel that they're bringing it to?
Yeah, I don't know.
The thing about the internet is you market, and it's supposed to take attention into consideration.
Oh, yes, exactly.
That's essentially what marketing is. Yeah. You go from, hey, I'm telling you what I do, and I show you what I do consistently until that becomes consideration. And then the consideration is when you could get a sale. Okay. So what ends up happening is there's a funnel process. Yeah. And in that funnel process, the biggest issue that most people have is their funnel process is broken. Yeah. So if your funnel process is through a website, but you don't check your website consistently, or you don't check your email consistently, or your funnel is through, hey, a phone call, but you might not get the phone call, then there's a lag there. Okay. A cleaning business could do the exact same thing that Starbucks is doing.
The loyalty.
Yeah. Well, have you ever called Starbucks to order your coffee?
No, never.
Have you ever used the app?
Starbucks app.
Yeah.
I'm not a Starbucks person. But I know a lot of people that do.
But most people who are Starbucks fans are using the app.
Yeah, they do actually.
So if you're a cleaning business right now, the first thing you want to know is how to get the customer. Yes. So if you ever go to a trade show, or if you're ever going to an event and you're telling them, hey, I have a cleaning business, here, download my app for any future cleanings. This is where you can see the prices, our quotes, all of that.
Smart.
So it could show them everything about you in a click of a button versus, hey, what was that person's name again?
Yeah.
What was their
website?
Instagram page again?
Yeah.
I don't remember the name of their business.
Yeah.
Now you have the app.
Yeah.
And now with that person over there, whenever you have a deal or whenever you have a promotion or whenever you have products that you want to sell, you can do a push notification and it could go right there. Whenever you have another trade show or event, you can literally put it in the front page of your app. So when people are going on your app, they can see all of the stuff that you got going on. And this allows you to have a better transaction with the business. And now let's talk about the business owner.
Yeah.
Now, instead of you getting phone calls that you're missing all day, you see all of this when you log onto your app in the morning. You know exactly what your program's going to be.
Yeah.
This is now your business.
Yeah.
Your business could run simply. Let's use a restaurant as an example as well. With a restaurant, they're always looking at getting customers in consistently. Yeah. They always have new things on the menu that they want to shout out to their customers and let their customers know that they have.
Yeah.
A picture on Instagram is not going to do it, but a push notification will.
Exactly, because that push notification, well, let's say on Instagram, a restaurant has 20,000 followers, and you obviously, again, the algorithm, you're fighting against the algorithm. I don't see a restaurant getting crazy engagement on Instagram.
Yeah.
But let's say they have that 20,000, or they don't even have to have 20,000 on that. Let's say 7,000 on the app. That's 7,000 people getting that push notification.
Yep. And this is the difference between followers and actual people who download your app. I tell people all the time, if you have 80,000 followers on Instagram, you have 80,000 priers.
Yeah.
You have 80,000 FOSS people.
Eyes.
Just eyes.
Yeah.
If you have 3,000 downloads,
yeah,
you have 3,000 customers.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the big difference right there.
That's the biggest difference. So I don't care how big your Instagram following is. It doesn't mean nothing. I want to know how many downloads you have.
True.
Because the downloads is customers.
Well, what type of analytics are on the back end?
Oh, you can see it all.
Yeah. Like
you could even see how long people spend on certain pages, especially with a podcast like you. Let's just say you have, let's just say you put somebody in your directory. You could see how long they spend when they're looking at that person's information.
That's what I got excited
They
about.
click, they do all of this stuff. Like every movement in the app, there's an analytic metric for that you can see.
And that solves our problem as a community of what we said earlier, that we're not paying attention to analytics.
Yep.
Now we have an app that can, you don't know where to start. You don't know what to Google. You don't know what to research. Okay, no, don't worry. This alpha app thing that's coming does it all for you.
Exactly.
For as low as $350 a month.
100%. I know people who have nail salons and their customers still call them. What are they calling? I could book on the app and I'll see you there.
Yeah. Just wasting my time.
Like, what am I calling you for, bro? Yeah. And this is the thing. When you're on the go, you always forget to call your barber. You call your thing. Bro, listen. My barber, ever since he got Booksy, I haven't called him.
Yeah.
And it's lovely.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm going to book it and I'm going to see him there.
Yeah, exactly.
I put it on my schedule. It's on my calendar. I don't have to call him remember, what day was it again? Yeah. No, I don't have to do none of that.
Yeah.
So now you book it, boom. And it's easy for him because he knows who's coming.
Yeah.
He knows, I have to get this person ready for this, that. If you are somebody that has a hair salon, if you're somebody who has this, you can manage everything through your app. And you're
not double booking anymore.
Never. And here's the best part about that scale. Now, if you are a business owner and you have that type of traffic, it could be off of you.
Yeah.
Because now I know the leads are coming in. I could just hire another barber and let them do the work.
Yes.
Because the work is coming. The work is coming in.
Yeah.
So when the work comes in, that's how simple it is.
Jeez, and that's how you could scale your business.
100%.
Because you have all the analytics.
100%.
Again.
And now I could put directories on, hey, which person do you want to do your stuff with? And that could all be through my app.
Okay. And let's talk about the Alpha Coin.
Yeah.
Because I feel like now hearing the Alpha app, the Alpha Coin comes right. It just goes like this.
100%.
So explain that.
So Alpha Coin is a loyalty management software that we've created. And what we've done is with the analytics for every app that we build for every business, we have an API plugin that allows them to sign up for Alpha Coin within their app. Okay. So if somebody wanted to sign up for Alpha Coin, they could go to Black is the New Rich and there would literally be a section for loyalty.
Okay.
And in that loyalty, they can literally sign up in there.
And get rewards.
Yeah. And they could get rewards, whatever rewards you're willing to give them for a purchase. And obviously there's tiers.
Yeah.
And you get to decide which tiers you're willing to give. So there's There's silver, gold, and diamond.
Yes.
And for silver, gold, and diamond, you get to decide what you want to give them for silver, gold, and diamond. So if somebody gets 2,000 points and they have a diamond membership, they'll come up to you and be like, hey, I'm ready to redeem my diamond membership. And you're like, oh, for a diamond membership, you get a Black is the New Rich book.
Yeah.
Boom.
Done. And let's say I'm a customer and I'm in the loyalty program. I can go to any business that's in this program and redeem stuff.
For whatever they want.
Gee, groundbreaking.
Yep.
Groundbreaking. And I know we were talking about this maybe a month ago. I don't know. Maybe you'll have the exact number. Canada is built up of percentage of small businesses.
Right now they said it was, I think it's 2.4 million small businesses.
2.4 million small businesses.
It's like 2.4 to 3 million small business, and medium-sized businesses is roughly a little bit smaller than that.
And this type of system is not even close to here yet.
Yeah, no, it's not. We're early.
Jeez.
We're very, very
how
early.
do you plan on like spreading the word?
That's what
Other than this, like how do you...
Oh, we have multiple methods that we use. Like currently right now we have a lead generation type situation. So we're doing a lot of lead generation. We're doing a lot of email marketing. In terms of Google and Facebook, we're doing campaigns where we do a try.
Okay.
We do a try campaign.
Yes.
So we're forcing a bunch of businesses to, hey, try to build it yourself.
Yeah.
And then contact us. Mind you, we also build it for the customer if they don't want to build it themselves.
Okay, so that's just an extra fee or something.
That is an extra fee. So like for the smallest package, it's like $3,500. The middle package, which is more enterprise app, is the professional package. That's more like $7,000. And then $15,000 for the highest. Like if somebody wanted to create like almost like a mini Uber type situation, we could create that for them.
Jeez, that's big time. So we have that Alpha apps coming, Alpha coin coming. When can we expect this? Is there a specific date?
So Alpha apps is live.
It's live.
Yeah.
So we can start signing up right now.
Yeah.
And build our app as well?
Yeah.
Let people know where they can at least check this
out
right now.
You could go on www.alphaapps.ca.
Okay.
And you can literally start playing around with templates right away.
Okay.
Like you can see how it works. You can plug your logo into it. We have our contact on there, like our email if you want to email us if you have any questions, or if you want to set up a call, like you could easily just email us and then we could get things going.
So to play around with your app and let's say build it, is that free? And then to publish it, you'll start to pay?
Yeah. So when you publish it, you'll start to pay monthly. Unless you want us to build it, then we will charge you the upfront.
But we can build it. I can go in there, Black is New Rich, I can start building it. And as soon as I want to publish it, I'll start paying.
Yeah.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah.
That's smart. That's smart.
So what's crazy is we're actually doing a promotion in January.
Okay.
From now and in January.
What's it about?
We're going to build people's apps for free. For 30
really?
days.
For 30 days?
Yeah, that's it. That's
30 days.
Just
you get
30 days.
Intricate apps, medium level, small level. 30 days.
30 days. All they would have to do is just take care of their monthly, obviously.
Yes.
But their build fee, we'll take care of it for free.
Wow. Okay. I hope that doesn't go over a lot of people's heads, that you can get your app built for free for 30 days. Amazing. So listen, I want to ask you a couple questions that I ask everybody on the podcast. And the first one is, what is the best advice that you received? And what is the worst advice that you received?
I knew he was going to ask me. I knew it. I was fine the whole time. I'm like, what's the worst? What is the worst? Like, what is it? Best advice, honestly, was the way you do anything is the way you do everything.
Ooh, elaborate on that.
Because it's so funny how in life you always think like, oh, I'm gonna kind of like slack off here, but I'm serious here. It's like, nah, the way you do anything is really how you do everything, because you will show up.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
It doesn't matter.
Bars.
Eventually, you will show up.
100%.
So that is one of the greatest advices that I've probably got, and I live by that. The way you do anything is the way you do everything.
100%. And the worst? You don't have to say any names.
The worst is be patient.
Elaborate.
I know. I had to elaborate on that.
We always get into it about being...
I have to elaborate. I say be patient in terms of the outcome, but don't be patient in terms of the activity.
Thank you.
Work today you need it to happen today.
Now.
And that's how I move in terms of consistency,
in
terms of drive
Yeah.
and focus. Like it's not, don't get me wrong, it's a weird way to live sometimes because you're almost like living on a deadline.
Yeah. But honestly, that's what it requires. We're behind.
Yeah.
What are we being patient for?
And that's where
you know what I'm saying? Like what we're behind.
I tell people be patient about the outcome.
Yes, fair.
But don't be patient on the activity.
No.
Push. COVID made us very patient.
Yeah.
It made us even more patient.
Yeah.
Because I catch myself sometimes saying, oh, it's not ready. Oh, I can't do that yet.
Yeah.
Oh, I should probably wait. And then it murders me because I just feel like I'm not me.
Yeah.
And that's why I think like the worst advice I get is sometimes be patient. Because sometimes when you hear it, like, oh, you got to be patient about the outcome, but never be patient about the activity.
Bro, 100%.
Work like you need it to happen today.
Okay.
Like literally.
Shit. All right. So on the show, we love to make predictions. So, and I know Junior has his a special outlook on something. So in 5 years, I want to play this back and I'll be like, Junior, you did say that you're going to do that. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Yeah, let me put on my tape, boys. I'm going to be on the yacht. I'll talk shit. In 5 years, $100 million evaluation for the Alpha Pack Financial Plan.
$100 million evaluation. You said it right now, 5 years prior.
Yeah.
Is there a reason why you didn't say billion?
It might be $1 billion.
Yeah.
I just don't want to blow people out the water too quick. You can't let them know. It could be.
Okay.
It could be $1 billion in 5.5.
Okay.
Who knows? All I'm saying is that 9 figures is going to be attached to the name, but in 5 years for sure.
Fair. And anything else going on in 5 years that you see, or is this like your main sole purpose, and this is what you're locked in?
Marriage, kids. Yeah, me and Bae will definitely have it going on by then.
Cool.
Definitely wanna. I told her, I was like, bro, listen, like after World Cup, after we go to the next World Cup, after that, let's start laying. It's just
what do you want? You want an army?
Back to back. I don't want an army, bro. I want to be very intentional about how I raise my kids. It's not even just gonna be just lay a bunch of kids. I want them to be able to handle what I'm willing to leave over.
Yes.
So I want to be able to take the time.
Responsibility has to be there.
100%. I want to be able to take the time and really groom them and teach them. So I would say 3 would be my max.
Okay.
I'm more like on the 2.
Okay, fair. And obviously more than 1.
Yes.
More than 1.
Yes. Nah, only child is dangerous.
It is dangerous. It is dangerous.
It's very dangerous. It's very, no.
Okay. So 5 years, I 100 mil to $1 billion. Honestly, first of all, I want to say thank you for coming.
Man, thank you for having me, bro.
I've been wanting this interview for a very long time.
I remember I saw you at Collision. We were like, bro, you need to get on. I was like, bro, trust me.
Yeah, just wait.
I'm coming.
Yeah. Because honestly, like I think you're a brilliant mind and you have a lot to offer, not only our community, but the world. Right?
Yeah.
Because you're always thinking, you're always learning, educating yourself, and like, you're just always thinking ahead, and that's what we need as a community. And
100%. And I can say that about yourself as well, because I got to give you your props. I remember us having a meeting at the beginning of the year when we had our men's meeting, and you said you were going to make this happen.
Yeah.
And you said the things that you were fearful about and the things that you wanted to overcome. And to see 50 plus episodes in, bro, I'm proud of you, bro.
Thank you.
Like, I'll be looking at you like, I'm like, like I'm seeing you get better every single time. You and the team, just the content is getting better. The ideas are getting better.
Yeah.
And bro, you have what it takes right now. Honestly, like, you are the best podcaster coming out of Toronto right now.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And
100%.
And like,
especially in our community. You top tier. Like,
thank you. I appreciate that, because
like,
yes, I'm humble about it and stuff like that, but like, we want to be the best thing Canada's ever seen. When it comes to this media stuff,
it's done.
And not even like obviously we don't go for shock value and bullshit here, right? So I want this to be purposeful, because ultimately, like you said earlier, like, people should build a business and to walk away later. And I don't want to be the face of this forever.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? I plan to walk away. Maybe there's another host. Maybe there's a bunch of channels, because I see this as the revolt of Canada.
Oh, I like that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just a media company. You know, revolt.
Speaking into existence. What's your 5-year?
Yeah, 5-year revolt. I don't put a number on it yet, but like that's what the goal is, because
I like it.
I'm always paying attention to who's doing podcast shows in the city, and the ones that are doing it, I want to get this platform big enough so they can respect a partnership. So I have a couple of mine. I'm not gonna say them yet.
Yeah, we're not gonna expose it yet. You know, just gotta keep it in.
But I'm just kind of looking at their work ethic, see how consistent they are, and then when this is on a level, then we can start making those type of deals.
100%.
Jeez.
I like that.
And let everyone know where they can contact you, where they can, any sort of contact information that they should have from you, let them know.
Okay, so if they want to reach out email wise, they could reach out info@alphapackhub.ca. They can always go on the website and try certain things out.
Yes.
On www.alphaapps.ca.
I'll plug that.
If they want to reach out on Instagram, my Instagram is jr_alphapack.
Okay, dope.
Yeah.
Any last words for the people?
Man, 2023 can be your worst year or your best year. It's just really based on what you want it to be. A lot of people think that they're not in control, but one thing that I do want to leave with everybody watching this podcast is the biggest lie the devil ever told you was that you weren't in control. Because the biggest gift that God ever gave us was the ability to have choice.
Yes.
That was his greatest gift. The moment you let somebody else take that from you, you're disrespecting God. You are now shutting him out of your life. 100%. The moment you believe somebody else has the choice over you.
100%.
He's giving you the greatest gift. Don't make him look stupid for giving you that gift. Take your life into your own hands. If there's something you don't like, you have the ability to change it. If you don't like how you look physically, you can change it. If you don't like where you are mentally, you can change it. If you don't like where you are emotionally, you can change it. If you don't like where you are financially, you can change it.
100%.
These are in your control because he has given you power. But you have to understand and remember, who much is given, much is required.
100%.
So let's make 23. Let's make that Jordan year the best year ever, baby.
All right. That's a wrap. Bro. Yo.
Everything black on black. If I study that facts on facts.